Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Adiba from Group 4. I along with my group members, Shakira, Amrina, Irene and Kaila, we will present about Bait Salam and Istisna. In this section, I will briefly explain the introduction about Bait Salam and Istisna in Islamic transaction. Bait Salam and Istisna are two forms of muamalat contract in Islam that allow for the sale and purchase of the goods that will be delivered in the future. Bait Salam involve full payment at the beginning of the contract, while Istisna are contract for ordering goods with more flexible payment method. Both contracts demonstrate the flexibility of Islamic Sharia in meeting economic needs while ensuring fairness and clarity in the sale and purchase process. Now, I will begin by explaining the concept of Bait Salam. Bait Salam is a sale contract in Islamic law where the buyer pays the full purchase price in advance, while the delivery of the good is postponed to a future date. Even though the goods do not exist at the time of the contract, this type of sale is allowed in Islam under specific conditions. The main purpose of Bait Salam is to help producers, especially farmers, who need upfront capital to begin their production process. The advance payment allows them to cover costs such as seed, equipment, and labor before the goods are ready. To avoid uncertainty or error, the good must be clearly specified in terms of quantity, quality, and delivery time. Overall, Bait Salam reflects the flexibility of Islamic law in supporting economic activities while ensuring fairness and transparency between the buyer and the seller. Okay, next I will explain the concept of Istisna. Istisna is a manufacturing or construction contract where a buyer places an order for goods that need to be produced and constructed, such as building, furniture, or manufactured product. In this contract, payment doesn't have to be made fully in advance and can be paid in installment or deferred based on mutual agreement. Istisna is commonly used in the manufacturing or construction sector because it offers flexibility in both production and payment. Both parties agree on the specification, price, and completion period before the work begins. Through Istisna, Islamic law emphasizes clarity, mutual consent, and fairness between the contracting parties. This makes Istisna highly suitable for modern economic activities that involve large-scale projects and long-term production. For this slide, I will explain the legal basis evidence from the main sources for Bait Salam and Istisna. Firstly, Bait Salam is permitted in Islam because it helps farmers and small traders to obtain initial capital. This is supported by hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which emphasizes that the term of sale must be clear, as narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Scholars such as Ibn Qudama also agree that Bait Salam is permitted because it brings benefits and justice to both parties. Furthermore, Istisna has been practiced since the beginning of Islam, without objection from the companions. Although there is no specific hadith, scholars have permitted it on the basis of necessity and qiyas with Bait Salam. It is also in line with the principle of the Quran, which permits sale and purchase and prohibits usury, as in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 275. Next, for this slide, we look at the views of scholars on Bait Salam and Istisna. For Bait Salam, the majority of scholars agree that it is permitted in Islam. This truth is based on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and is intended to help farmers and small traders obtain initial capital. However, scholars emphasize that the goods sold must be clearly stated so that there is no element of uncertainty or error. Next, for Istisna, it is permitted by the Hanafi school of thought that also contemporary scholars. This contract is more flexible in terms of payment and is very suitable for use in the construction and industrial sectors. However, the specification of the goods and the delivery period still need to be clearly stated to maintain justice for all parties.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will presenting on By Salam and By Istisna, which are deferred sale contracts in Islamic finance. Our focus will be on understanding their essential pillars known as arkan and the governing conditions known as shurut, which are critical to ensuring these contracts are valid and compliant with Sharia. Let's start with By Salam. There are 4 essential pillars. 1. Contracting parties. Both the buyer and the seller must be legally competent or have ahliyah to engage in the contract. Second sirah, which is the offer and acceptance. This must show a clear intention to contract. In modern practice, this can even be conducted digitally or through e-commerce platform. Third, price or Ra'sul Mal. It must exist and be clearly stated at the time of the contract. The last one is commodity or Muslim fee. The item must be generic, standardized and widely available in the market. These pillars are fundamental to ensure the contract is valid under Islamic law. Next, for By Istisna, which is a manufacturing or production contracts. Its essential pillars are similar but slightly more flexible. First, contracting parties. Buyer and manufacturer must be competent. Second, sirah. Offer and acceptance is flexible. That means full payment is not required at the time of contract. Third, manufactured goods. The goods must be producible according to agreed specifications. The last but not least is price must be flexible. It can be paid after completion or in stages. These pillars provide the foundation of the istisna contract while accommodating the nature of production and project-based work. Moving on to the governing conditions of By Salam and Istisna. First, By Salam. Price must be fully paid at the time of the contract. Next, commodity must be clearly specified, including type, quantity and quality. Delivery date and location must be specific to avoid uncertainty or any disputes. The contract must be free from riba, excessive borrow and fraud. The last one is the commodity must also be halal and beneficial according to Sharia. For By Istisna, the governing conditions focus on production and project delivery. First, commodity must be specific, manufacturable, and the materials supplied by the manufacturer unless otherwise agreed. Second, price must be agreed at the time of the contract, but payment can be progressive or installment based. Next is delivery timeline must be clearly defined to ensure accountability. Completion responsibility, it must be the manufacturer. The manufacturer is liable for any defects before delivery, which known as hiya. This type of contract is particularly suitable for construction projects, industrial equipment and project development. I now turn the presentation over to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Amrina Yusra binti Mahazir. Now, I will explain the key features and benefits of By Salam and Istisna. Okay, first let me explain what is By Salam. Okay, By Salam is a sale contract in which the buyer make full payment at the times the contract is concluded, while the delivery of the good is deferred to a future date. The goods involved in By Salam must be clearly specified in terms of quantity, quality and delivery times in order to avoid uncertainty or horror. Okay, this contract is commonly used in agriculture and commodity-based transaction. One of the main benefits of By Salam is that it provides early financing to farmers and producers and allowing them to fund their production activity. Okay, at the same time, the buyer benefit from a predetermined price, which help reduce future price volatility. Okay, next slide is Istisna. Okay, Istisna is a contract used for manufacturing or construction where the subject matter of the contract does not exist at the time of agreement. The goods are produced or constructed according to the specification agreed upon by both parties. Unlike Bai'us Salam, Istisna allows flexibility in payment as it can be made in installment, deferred or based on project milestone. Okay, this make Istisna suitable for large-scale projects such as buildings, infrastructure, or industrial equipment. And overall, Istisna provide greater flexibility and practical application in modern Islamic finance. Okay, next slide is comparative analysis between Bai'us Salam and Istisna. Okay, this slide present a comparative analysis between Bai'us Salam and Istisna based on several key aspects. Okay, firstly, in terms of payment, Bai'us Salam required full payment in advance, where Istisna allows payment to be made in stage or at a later time. Secondly, regarding the nature of goods, Bai'us Salam involves standardized and fungible goods, while Istisna involve goods that are custom-made or manufactured according to specific requirement. Thirdly, Bai'us Salam is generally less flexible due to its strict payment requirement, while Istisna offer more flexibility in both payment and executions of the contract. Okay, in terms of application, Bai'us Salam is commonly used in agriculture and commodity financing, where Istisna is widely applied in construction and manufacturing projects. Okay, for conclusion, both contracts play important roles in Islamic finance. Bai'us Salam focus on providing upfront capital, while Istisna support project-based productions and development.
Assalamualaikum. For this session, I will explain the operational mechanism of Salam and Istisna. Salam and Istisna are deferred delivery contract, meaning that the good delivery at a future date. Although both contract involve deferred delivery, their operational procedure differ due to the type of goods, payment structure, and risk allocation. Therefore, understanding this mechanism is essential to ensure Sharia compliance, effective operational risk management, and proper project monitoring. In a Salam contract, the buyer is required to make full payment at the beginning of the contract. This upfront payment support producers such as farmers by providing financing for the production process. At the contract stage, all terms must be clearly specified, including quantity, quality, type, grade, and delivery time, in order to avoid gharar or countertain. The seller used the advance payment as working capital to produce or source the good. For the perspective of Islamic banking, the bank may sell the goods to a third party through a parallel Salam contract to mitigate price and liquidity risk. Example for goods under Salam contract include agricultural products, commodities, and raw materials. Moving on to Istisna. It is a manufacturing or construction-based contract where goods or assets are produced according to agreed specification. This contract is suitable for large-scale projects such as construction, industrial manufacturing, and capital assets. One key feature of Istisna is it is flexible payment structure, where payment can be made in a full at beginning or in installment based on project progress. Islamic finance institution carry out monitoring to ensure Sharia compliance, including technical inspection. Bank may also engage a parallel istisna contract with subcontractor, provide that the main and subcontracting contract keep separate to avoid Sharia valuation. Once the asset is complete, it is delivery and inspection, and ownership is transferred only after acceptance and compliance with specification. In terms of risk management, Salam contract exposed to the risk of non-delivery or goods not meeting contractual specification. This risk can be mitigated through seller appraisal, collateral requirement, and the use of parallel contracts. There is also price risk between the time of the delivery, the time of payment and delivery, which can be managed through hedging mechanism. Additionally, upfront payment creates liquidity risk for Islamic bank. For istisna contract, major risks include project delays, cost overrun, and technical problems. The risk can be mitigated through progress-based payment, performance bonds, and close project monitoring. There is also the risk of Sharia non-compliance, which can be addressed through proper documentation and effective project monitoring. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, we move to contemporary application in the Islamic financial system. Islamic banks use Salam and Istisna to help different businesses grow. Salam is used to provide cash upfront to farmers and exporters so they can cover their costs before they harvest or ship their goods. Istisna is used for building houses and real estate, where the bank pays the builder in stage as the work gets done. To keep the process safe, banks often act as a middleman between the buyer and the builder using a parallel contract. Project financing and sukuk, their contracts are also used for large national project and investment. Istisna helps build big infrastructure like highway and power plants by releasing funds as construction process. It's also used to create sukuk, Islamic bond, to raise money from the public for manufacturing high-value assets. Additionally, Salam is used for short-term investment backed by commodities like oil, and both contracts help small businesses get the funding they need to produce goods. Last but not least, challenges and future outlook. While these tools are very useful, they face some challenges like the risk of late delivery or changes in market prices. There is also a need for better global standards and digital tools such as blockchain to make payments and production checks automatic and faster. Looking ahead, there's contract a great potential to drive real economic growth in farming and manufacturing rather than just helping the financial sector.
To conclude, our overall analysis shows that Bank Salam and Bank Istisna are two essential deferred sale contracts that support a wide range of economic activities in Islamic finance. We began by covering the definitions, legal foundation, and scholarly views, which highlight how both contracts evolve from classical fiqh into well-regulated modern financial instruments. Through their essential pillars and governing conditions, we can see that both Salam and Istisna are designed to ensure clarity, fairness, and avoidance of riba and excessive uncertainty. Salam is more rigid, particularly with the requirement of full price payment at the time of contract, while Istisna is more flexible and better suited for manufacturing, construction and large-scale project development. In today's financial system, both contracts remain highly relevant. They are used in banking products, project financing and even sukuk structures. Despite certain implementation challenges, they offer strong potential for innovation and growth. Overall, Salam and Istisna demonstrate how Islamic commercial law can adapt to modern economic realities while still upholding the ethical and maqasid principles of Sharia. That wraps up our presentation. We hope it's given you a fresh perspective. Thank you.